Have you ever felt a strange, unexplained connection to the unseen world? Could your astrological sign be the key to unlocking your psychic potential? Welcome to Beyond the Hub podcast. I'm Nick.
And I'm Brandon. Today, we dive into how your astrological sign might connect you to the paranormal world. So buckle up as we explore this mystical bond.
Join us as we begin our 3-part series on astrology and paranormal connections.
So let's kick things off with the water signs, Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. Known for their deep emotional currents, these signs are often tagged as the most psychic. But why exactly do you think that is?
Scorpio here. That's a good question. Historically, figures like Edgar Cayce, known as the Sleeping Prophet, often entered trance states. One of his most noted predictions was foreseeing the stock market crash of 1929, which he attributed to his intuitive Pisces nature. Casey's psychic insights seem to be intertwined with his astrological sign, providing us with an interesting glimpse into the potential powers of the Zodiac.
And just a quick note, I was there in 1929 stock market crash. Yeah. It was pretty intense. I saw lots of weird stuff, like, people jumping out of buildings and stuff. We
got 5 more years until we get the 100-year term, so.
It was intense. All right, let's absolutely not overlook, I can't pronounce this name, Eusapia Palladino, I believe it's pronounced, who was also a Scorpio. And
nice.
Their seances in the early 1900s both baffled and intrigued many. During one notable session, she reportedly caused objects to move and even materialize without any physical contact. Critics and believers alike often tied her intense psychic abilities to her powerful Scorpio characteristics.
Have you ever had an experience that you couldn't explain? We'd love to hear about it. Tweet us your stories at Beyond the Hub with the hashtag Hub Mysteries, or just drop a comment below and let's see if there's a pattern with your zodiac sign.
Personally, I'm a Sagittarius, and I think that's a fire sign. I don't know much about astrology. Not trying to offend anybody, but women tend to be more, interested in this type of astrology, zodiac sign thing, and what's attuned to it, and horoscopes and stuff like that. I never really was. I just know I'm a Sagittarius because it's a cool horse dude. That's about it. It sucks for the people who aren't cool horse dudes.
I'm Scorpion.
You're a Scorpion. That's still cool. That's still cool. There's some other signs that they aren't. Isn't one like isn't Cancer a cornucopia or something like that?
I think so.
I don't know. One of them is. I think one of them is a cornucopia.
Don't quote me on that. I don't know what.
I don't know.
I think so.
I don't know. My wife is really into the signs and what they mean and all that stuff. So with this discussion we're having today, we really want to look for the significance and how they could be involved or related, what the correlation is between them and the paranormal. Because that's definitely piqued my interest. With that being said, speaking of the history, the connection between astrology and psychic phenomena is not new. Take the ancient oracles of ancient Greece, for instance. They are often chosen from among water signs for their reputed sensitivity to the spiritual. The most famous being the Oracle of Delphi.
Exactly, that's a good point. Even in the Victorian era, a boom in spiritualism saw mediums often boasting about their sign, claiming it gave them to a direct line to the Beyond the Hub podcast. It's actually fascinating how these historical docs connect.
I think so. I absolutely think so. And I think even further than that, this astrology itself, the study of astrology, celestial objects and the relation to the earth and where their placement is at certain times of the year and different year cycle, all of it. It's all part of something that in biblical scripture is said to have been taught to people, to humans, by the fallen angels. It's part of the occult, that they were, it's hidden. Occult just means hidden. So occult is hidden knowledge, hidden practices, stuff like that. So astrology was part of that. I think that if it was taught to them in rebellion to God, that there's absolutely some significance to it. I just don't know what it is and what parts of it are, harmful and what parts of it are not. What parts of it we're just using to understand the way things work at a different level that we might not have been able to before. Right?
Yeah.
So that's at least where I fall on this stuff. But what about you guys?
I mean, all of you watching, does knowing these historical connections change how you view your sign? Again, tweet us your thoughts at Beyond the Hub or drop a comment below.
But not everyone's buying it. Today's skeptics argue that these psychic connections are coincidences or psychological effects, which, at least they're acknowledging that there's some sort of psychic connection. Even if it is a coincidence or a psychological effect, like they're admitting that psychic things are real.
Yeah.
The idea of psychic energy or psychic moving things around telekinetically, maybe that could be something to it. Maybe it's just, reading minds. I don't know. Maybe. But what's the science saying?
There's no hard scientific evidence linking zodiac signs to psychic abilities. But many in the astrological community maintain that these traits can influence one's respectiveness into the unknown. It's a cosmic debate, that's for sure.
Cosmic. Ooh. But that's what makes it so interesting.
Yeah.
Especially, to me personally. The mystery is continuing to unfold as time carries on. And who knows, maybe we're literally just scratching the surface. Like I mentioned, there's different applications of the astrological sign / the zodiac, where some people will read their horoscopes as if it's, absolute.
Written in stone.
Yeah, written in stone. Like they read their horoscope and it says, be careful today because you're going to run into somebody who means you ill harm. So then that person who read that, because that's their sign for the day, well, that's their sign, that's their horoscope for the day, they're going to carry on their life that day being like, I can't talk to anybody. I'm not going to interact with anybody at all because I don't want to risk. That person might have harm for me. So they just lock themselves in their house. That's to the extreme. I'm not saying all people do that. Some people read the horoscopes as just a little fun. Like, oh, cool. I wonder if this is accurate or not. And I'll admit, I have read a horoscope in the past where I'm like, when I was practicing astral projection and more of the new agey stuff, astral projection and lucid dreaming and stuff, I got curious as to, man, these past 4 days have really sucked. I'm really depressed. I wonder what my horoscope says. You will be depressed. I'm like, that's weird. No, I really didn't say that. I didn't really say that. But, I'm reading my horoscope and I'm like, you got to really, really try to forcefully make that fit. It's so vague.
Do you think that reading into it influences you?
Yeah, I think so. If you read into it ahead of time, I think it will influence the direction you go. Because you have that preconception now of, this is what it says. If you're giving it that power, it will have that power. If you're giving it the power over your life, it will have that power. Now, on the other side, I've had conversations with my wife about the zodiac signs and stuff. And, she says Scorpios have X character traits and they tend to behave this way, and Tauruses are this way, and I don't get along with these people. And I'm like, to one extent, I'll say, okay, I can kind of see where people born around the same time of year tend to have some sort of commonalities about them, between them, amongst them, where especially with, it's even noticeable in the seasons. If you were born in the winter and the first half of your first year of life is indoors and you're not going outdoors because it's so cold, you're gonna experience more of your conscious mind when you're developing at 6 months to a year old, where you're really starting to explore, develop your fine motor skills and stuff like that, and your major motor skills, and you're experiencing that stuff in the winter. I mean, in the summer when you're outside and you're interacting with nature and the environment and you're playing outside and you're having fun. Versus somebody who's born in the summer, they're stuck inside in the winter all the time. So maybe their skill sets might differ. Maybe their personalities might differ. I think there's a lot that can go into it in a scientific type of sense.
Environmental factors,
right? And that has a lot to do with the time of the year you're born. So maybe that could be an explanation as to why these zodiac signs have similar character traits. But on the other side, it's, where my wife tends to believe is like, it's an absolute, like all Scorpios are like this. I've never met a Scorpio that's not doing this. And I've never met a Sagittarius that doesn't act this way. I've never met a Leo that doesn't act this way. Me and this person get along, and that's weird because we're Leo and this, and well, I'm Scorpio and they're Leo, and we don't tend to get along. Like, I just think subjecting oneself to an arbitrary rule set, I'm calling it arbitrary because that's my stance on it, but like whether it's applicable, like there's some significance to it. I think there is. I just don't know what it is. Subjecting yourself to that is making that your reality.
I don't think you should make that your personality.
I don't think that you should make your personality your zodiac sign. That's basically the bottom line. Yeah, that's a really good way to summarize what I'm trying to say here. I don't think you should make your personality your zodiac sign, but I can understand the intrigue with it, which is why we're talking about it this episode. It's intriguing. It's interesting to talk about. But this is an area where my wife and I tend to clash on, because she'll be like, oh, I hope this person, her sister was pregnant once. It's like, oh, I hope it's born this time, because then it'll be this zodiac sign and not this zodiac sign. I'm like, that has literally never crossed my mind in my entire life. That thought process never was like, I hope this person's this zodiac sign. I just don't, I don't care.
I hope they have a healthy baby.
I hope they have a healthy baby and the baby's okay, all right, makes it, everything's okay, the mom's healthy, the baby's healthy, and now they're happy. Yay. That's what I think about. But yeah, share your thoughts with us down in the comments below.
And as we wrap up today's episode, remember, whether you're a skeptic or a believer, the universe holds deeper mysteries than we can see at first glance.
And speaking of deeper mysteries, next time we'll delve into where astrology meets the occult. Hidden. What secrets did ancient astrologers and mystics know? What hidden knowledge was passed through generations under the veil of the stars?
I don't know. Join us tomorrow as we uncover the historical bonds between astrology and the arcane arts.
And the exploration continues. We cannot wait to have you back for more revelations.
Thanks for joining us on this mystical journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your personal experiences with us. We love hearing your theories and stories.
Keep them coming. Catch us in episode 2 tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you are new here, check out our previous series where we attempt to unravel other mysteries. Link will be in the description. And be sure to stay curious and keep seeking the truth.
Until next time, this is Beyond the Hub podcast, where the realms of the paranormal and conspiracies collide, and the truth is waiting to be unveiled. We'll see you soon.
Take care, everyone.